Hey, this is David Richter Scale Studios doing a quick update. I have more videos ready to come out soon, but I just wanted to show you what I'm doing in the studio right now and go from there. So right now the Anycubic i3, one of my most defendable machines. Never regret buying this thing. Putting out a these are Post-Apocalyptic line from Corvus Games Terrain, Stephen Boyle's studio. Here's one that just came off not too long ago. This is building A from the Post-Apocalyptic Shantys. God, I said that correctly. Roof's removable. You see it being printed right now. On my original Ender 3, it just came off with building B, and it just came off the bed a few minutes ago. It releases itself, and that is a really cool piece of terrain. And we'll go to another piece from him. This is building C, big offset, cool roof. That'll be done in a while. It's a big building. I'm doing these for post-apocalyptic games like Last Days, and this is not a test. I'll put links below to those games, and these will be on Etsy and eBay eventually. And this is, I'm doing a reprint of an original Warlayer fuel container, and this just came off the printer. This is an orbital gun from Warlayer's most current Kickstarter, Warlayer 3 Zone 1 orbital gun. Amazing quality coming off the Ender 3. There'll be a two-part video on the modding of the newer Ender 3 to the studio. And then, like I said, this stuff can be painted on eBay and Etsy. And I do have a paint studio. Lots of paint. I build my own paint racks, so I always try to be a maker, I guess. I always don't want to, when I see makers, I'm always so impressed, but I do make my own paint racks, as you know, wood and glue, nails, and saws. This is my camouflage. I called it my catachin if you're into 40K paint rack. My Orc Speed Freaks paint rack. And then this is my Space Hulk. And I did weathering and drilled holes and put dowels. A repurposed nail polish rack to put washes and inks in. Homemade airbrush booth that works amazing with drawers. And this is amalgamation of Walmart, Target, Lowe's. It's kind of like a Home Depot if people aren't familiar with it. Bathroom fan, and it's linked out to my eaves because we're in my attic loft studio. And I only put acrylic paint through this thing, so it keeps it away from me. On my floor here, if you could afford a silent air, these are really silent compressors. It sounds, it's a refrigerator compressor, so it sounds as loud as a refrigerator, except for the air coming out when you're blowing it with your airbrush. I found this one on Craigslist, $200. It's like a $700 compressor. It was a couple that were doing a tanning business that never took off the ground. I don't think it was ever used. And I have one I actually found on eBay and rebuilt myself in my downstairs studio, or my garage. And this is my paint desk. You see I've always had some projects going or forgotten about. Another, this is Warlayer 2, the transport with that's what I'm printing on the Ender 3. And I didn't like the way this came out, and this was a weird profile I did on the Anycubic i3. So I'm talking about painting. I'll show you some of the stuff I've done. Take the walk through my studio here, and it is a crazy room. This is like 300 square feet in a converted attic. I've had people comment on like, wow, you have a cool space. It's a cool attic. It's only maybe 6 feet tall in here, and I'm probably 5'10" with shoes on, so I fit perfectly in here. And you have collections and obsessions of toys of G.I. Joe stuff. So here is stuff I've done from GW models. You can see that that's a Manufactorum. I might do this kind of quality once in a while on Etsy with the weathering, and I mean this is all hand built in the back with layers and layers of stuff, but hours of work. And this is a scratch built pink foam light diffusers, if you're familiar with that. If you go to an office building, those grates, MDF, paint, a robot toy from a dollar store. It's such a big table I can't really get around everything. Some silicone caulking to simulate water coming off a roof. This was a Russian little toy thing combined with craft foam. I think that's a clipboard. We have some water resin, some airbrush work. This is one of my first pieces when I got back in the hobby, but still kind of cool and would look good on any table. This was another GW bits thrown together. I called it an embedded communications tower. This is all kinds of weird stuff I put together, and it's obviously taken over by my Orc Blood Axis. Oh, here's some my first 3D prints on the Printerbot Metal Plus. These little grot tanks from Thingiverse. and I actually on Tinkercad designed my own turret, so everything was kind of different. So that's a little update. And actually, the table. This is a 6x4 table. There's another piece to make it 8x4, and this is all hand textured, and kind of my first deployment in building tables. So I've gotten a little more skill since then. So when you see Etsy and stuff, I want you can look back at this, and I will actually probably do a lot of process videos with the stuff I release on Etsy, especially, you know, the 3D prints I'll be printing or painting and putting up. So you know that I'm not just throwing spray paint and a wash on something and calling it pro painted, or you know, probably more of a, I'll call it a high tabletop standard for terrain. So something you can pull out of the box and be proud to put on your table. It'll look cool. It'll be ready to photograph with your miniatures or something like that. So we're going to let this little update that kind of got out of control at 6 minutes, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for joining me.